All right, thanks for joining us this morning. I'm just going to get things started here with a couple little things that have been on my mind. A lot of accidents of late. I'll leave the commissioners to go through some of the stats, but I really wanted to focus on the folks that are in these work zones. They go out there every day and put their lives at risks, and it's not just the boots on the ground. It's engineers, it's supervisors, it's the whole team. So really what I wanted to touch on is the conditions that they're experience. There's limited visibility. There's a lot of noise. It's working next to cars going 50, 60 miles per hour. Slip, strips, and falls are always present for these folks that are in these areas. So, expect the unexpected. Try to communicate as best you can. Make sure the community is aware of what we're doing out there. The state's doing a lot of work on 140 and 91, and I've been getting the postcards and emails and updates, and I think it's really, really great communication that the state's doing, so we appreciate that. It always helps to get out to the community meetings and questions and answers. Give folks options of where to go, maybe to completely avoid the work zone altogether. And really what I wanted to kind of tell a little story. When I was, I think kindergarten, pre-K, my town had the police and the library got together and had a safety town. Anybody have those growing up? Yeah. So it was really all things, pedestrian safety, bike safety. I was actually looking it up now. It's online safety and predators and things like that they're starting to cover for the kids now. But I think start kids when they're young. Start teaching them about this. As they start to drive and get out on the road. I think it's something that they've been introduced to a couple times and share some of these stories. So I will stop there and I'm handing over to Commissioner Kyler. Thank you.
And he gave me a perfect transition. When he was in pre-K, I was paving Route 15 between the state line to Thurmont. And I was thinking this morning, vests are wonderful, getting out the word's wonderful. Some of the idiots on the road, you just can't be safe. You just got to be aware. On Route 15, we had a congressman in his sedan with a driver go around the flagman, around the roller, go all the way to the back of the paver in the hot mat that hadn't even been sealed out yet. And you feel like saying, how dumb are you? But I don't know that you can. And then maybe worse yet, I had a flagman stop the tractor trailer, and Route 15, traffic backs up quickly. Tractor trailer pulls a gun on him. The driver pulls a gun on him and says, I'm going. And so I go, well, Cletus, what kind of truck? I don't know. What did he look like? I don't know. I said, what did you see? He goes, this. He goes, that's all I saw. But people, the traveling public, you guys can't be safe enough. It's so hard. So I hope you were having fun in pre-K. Okay, I have a proclamation. National Work Zone Awareness Week. Whereas National Work Zone Awareness Week is an annual spring campaign held at the start of construction season to encourage safe driving through highway work zones. And whereas National Work Zone Awareness Week is a way to raise public awareness for work zones and those who work in them, and that motorists are encouraged to slow to posted speed limits, eliminate distractions while driving, and be watchful of roadway workers, their equipment, and vehicles on the side of the road in work zones. And whereas the theme of the 2024 National Work Zone Awareness Week is Work Zones Are Temporary, actions behind the wheel can last forever. And whereas Carroll County is committed to performing the necessary inspections, maintenance, repairs, and construction work to ensure a safe, well-maintained roadway system. And whereas work zones are active and open to traffic daily throughout the county, putting motorists and workers at risk every day. and it is a shared responsibility to protect road workers as they improve the safety and quality for those traveling on our roadways. Whereas we recognize the contributions of those who work in roadway construction and maintenance, as well as traffic engineers, traffic operations personnel, law enforcement, emergency personnel, and others whose work environments include the open road, and honor those who have been injured or lost in the line of duty. And whereas Carroll County asks motorists to keep these workers in mind as you travel and acknowledge that accidents can be prevented by ignoring distractions, staying alert, using extra caution, reducing speed, obeying signage and flaggers, and giving a construction area your undivided attention when approaching, entering, or exiting a work zone. Only two more whereas. And whereas Carroll County is dedicated to ensuring the safety of work zones and are committed to raising driver awareness with the aid of automated enforcement and other education and enforcement efforts to prevent crashes and injuries, and recognizes that solutions to keeping everyone safe in work zones and on our roadways is our collective responsibility. Whereas the 2024 week-long commemoration will include a work safety training day, a kickoff event, Go Orange Day, social media storm, and a moment of silence. Now therefore, we, the Board of Carroll County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim April 15th to 19th, 2024 as National Work Zone Awareness Week, and signed by all of us. And one last word, and I normally try to say it, I love Carroll County, and you guys are exceptional. And it was interesting, last year we had more of a crowd, and I think some of it was the accident on the Beltway. I forget whom, but somebody here told me, which is correct, that work zone was set up incorrectly, and that's part of the reason why those people died. Now, I don't know if there's a shared liability or what. I haven't paid attention what goes on with it. Now, when you're going over 100 miles an hour, I don't know how much that matters, but if it would have been set up properly, they couldn't have hit the people, and it was set up backwards. And it was interesting that I heard you guys saying that, so you knew better than they did, but it's still tough, and that it's still tough, and that doesn't justify what those cars did and what they did to those people. But it's interesting that you guys saw right away it was set up wrong. So Commissioner Rothstein's got all kinds of statistics and facts, and it's that. And who holds this for the picture? You?
I do, but I'm not going to be reading any of this. Chris, did you write that proclamation? With help. Really well done.
Yes.
Words matter. And
Can we hire her back?
Roberta? No. So we could have an internal coup going on right now. But anyway, words matter. Okay, until rudely interrupted by my administrator. No, I'm kidding. It was really well said. And if you take the opportunity to read the proclamation, and there's some good information that's shared, and it really shares the sentiment of how we feel about you collectively. Catchy little phrase, slip, trips, and falls. If as a middle schooler, they'd be joking and laughing as kids slip, trip, and fall in the halls. Well, we know it's not a joking matter. And you've got to look out for each other, especially when you're out there, because a white line or yellow line doesn't stop a vehicle from coming into you. So slips, trips, and falls have to be minimized at all times. There are statistics here from National and Maryland, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter. One is bad enough. And I hold you for the last 5+ years in the highest regard as Public Works and those that are going on the roads, because you're putting yourselves in risk every day, whether you know it or not. Or we highlight a lot and I don't want to take away from the value of the men in green, blue, and red for what they do, but for the men and women in yellow and orange and all the things you do that keep us safe is just remarkable. And I will continue to work for you and with you alongside Commissioner Kyler to ensure that we can keep the best and the brightest, I guess with these oranges and yellows, safe on the streets to taking care of us. The last thing is what happened in the fall on Highway 140 with the telephone poles was so traumatic. It happened so quickly, I don't know, around 5:30, 6 o'clock, and we got a lot of attention to that. And all the right things happened where folks stayed in the vehicles. And what was horrible could have been really catastrophic if it wasn't for the coordination amongst everybody involved. But what folks didn't recognize was also outside of State 140, almost every county road was affected. And you were out there in the middle of the night, in the storms, moving trees and protecting those that were in harm's way. Power was out for a long time, as we remember, but what again didn't get recognized was how much you were out there selflessly until the job was done. And so just from me to you, thank you. And I think from me to all my colleagues, thank you for a job very well done. I don't expect anything less because that's who we are in Carroll County. But a thank you to me goes a long ways. So with that said, thank you. And back over to Mr. Boki, maybe?
Sure.
Okay, thanks.
Anybody else want to come up and say anything? No?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah?
Especially if you're going to make fun of Mr. Boki.
I'd like to offer my perspective of when somebody in your family is lost. 1969, my dad was leaving work and a drunk driver hit and killed him. So the human side after that is I didn't know my dad for real. I had a stepfather, but it wasn't the same. You know, you always wonder and wish and think, oh my gosh, would I have done something different? Could I have been a professional baseball player because he would throw the ball? You know, all these things you think of growing up. And it affects you more than most people think that haven't gone their life without their father. There was certainly a lot of acting out because it's a really weird feeling when you're in the Boy Scouts and you have family trips and going to the Boy Scout meeting with your dad, it didn't happen and you feel weird. And I don't think it's anything that, unless you've gone through it, I mean, I know most everybody here has or had kids. They may be grown now, but they had both parents in most cases. So there's a lot of sorrow. It lasts a long, long time. You know, why isn't my dad coming home? Where's he at? Why am I going to school doing things without a father? So I just wanted to bring that human side of it. So if somebody's on a construction site, they're a dad, a mom, and when they don't go home, all of us feel terrible, first of all, but your kids, what it does to the kids when your father or even, mom, when they don't come home, it's devastating for your whole life. Yeah, so I just wanted to bring that up. because I've gone through losing somebody. He was leaving work. He was not a construction person. So I really always think of that is, what if? And you can't get that back, ever. I think that's it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Doug. And the last thing I wanted to mention, I don't believe John Carl was in his position this time last year. So if anybody hasn't met JC yet, he's our new safety training coordinator. Sorry if that's not your official title, but he joined the team and he's been fantastic and really kind of leading the way for the whole county, very specifically Public Works, in terms of safety and training efforts. So thank you, JC, and welcome. With that, I'll close it out. Thank you for coming. Be safe.